oven thermometer for every oven, okay? So you want to make sure the oven you're using has an oven thermometer in it. Why would that be? So you know what temperature it is, okay? So if the temperature that you want is 375 degrees, your oven should be between 350 and 400, okay? When it goes down to 350, it'll kick in and go on again, and it might get a little too hot. So don't panic if it's only 350. Don't panic if it's 400. But if it's way over 400, you're going to have to turn it down a little. If it's way under 350, you're going to have to turn it up a little, okay? I will be watching to make sure you preheat your ovens. Muffins aren't going to bake very well if the oven's not preheated, okay? The next thing is to line your muffin pan with the papers. So we're going to put the papers in. And if you turn around and look on the shelf there, you'll see where papers are. When you first come in the kitchen, the first thing you're going to do is put your box on your station. When you walk back by here today, you will see that your stations, there's a list. There's a list of your stations. It's right on the end of that cabinet. You're going to put your box on your station. You're already going to have your hairnet on. Your recipe is already going to be in plastic, and on the back will be your mise en place. Okay, so you're going to put that down in your station. You're going to come over to that cupboard where the aprons are, your apron, and then you're going to wash your hands. After your hands are washed, you're going to come up front and get a sanitation bucket. Okay, sanitation buckets are red or they're plain. Okay, next, after you have sanitized your station, you're ready to find your pan. Okay, so that's when you're ready to preheat your oven, find your muffin pan, find your papers, do this, and put it right there on your station. On your mise en place sheet, you are going to have figured out how many bowls you're going to need, so that when you go to the bowl cupboard, you know how many to get, all right? So for this particular recipe, it looks to me like you need 2 bigger bowls, 2 smaller bowls, and plastic bowls, okay? All of the plastic bowls are in here. There's a whole bunch of them for you to crack eggs in and put little things like baking powder in or salt in. In this particular case, it does say that you are going to mix your dry ingredients in the mixing bowl. If you are confident that you can measure your flour and put it in the bowl, and then as you're measuring your sugar, put it in the same bowl, and as you're measuring your baking powder, put it in the same bowl, and your salt in the same bowl, you can do that. If you're a little paranoid that you're going to measure something wrong, then get a bunch of bowls. Okay, so the dry ingredients are ready. It says to make a well. So making a well means that you're just going to have, so you can see the bottom of the bowl. Can everybody see that? Okay, that's making a well. Okay, next, in another bowl, you're going to put your liquid ingredients. Okay, okay, so we're going to put the milk in here. And yeah, there should have been a fork here. Fork over. Okay. Make sure on your mise en place sheet, you're going to need a fork beside your spatula. Okay, and you're going to need your scoop. All right. Okay, so you want to mix up the milk, the egg, and the oil. You do not have a 1-cup measuring cup in your box. You only have a 2-cup measuring cup. So next to the oil bottles, there will be a couple measuring cups. Measure your 1/4 cup of oil. Put it in your bowl. Do not take the measuring cup to your station. Everybody's going to be using the same measuring cups for their oil. Do you understand that? Okay? Okay, so, how many of you ever made French toast? That's kind of what this looks like, doesn't it? Except it's got oil in it. So, oil, the egg, and the milk need to be mixed well together. Got it? Okay. Next, we're going to, got our well, right? We're going to add this to this. Sounds kind of easy, doesn't it? Okay, and then you're going to mix. And it says, stir with a spoon. You can use your spatula or a serving spoon. We need to find the big serving spoons. I don't know where they are. So your spatula works just fine. You all have a spatula that looks like this, that's white. That's good for these kind of bowls. It doesn't have to be white, it just has to be flexible. Flexible. You see what I mean by flexible? Flexible. It has to be flexible. One of your spatulas, the high heat one, is not going to be flexible. It's going to be pretty dang stiff, and that one won't work to get around the sides of your bowls. Okay, this batter is done, and what does it look? What does it look?
Lumpy.
Lumpy! Lumpy's the right word. There's the dough, and it looks what? Lumpy. Lumpy. Did you see how long I stirred that? Not very. Not very. Would you go with the not very? Not very. Not very. Okay. Okay. This is a number 20 scoop. This is what your scoop should look like, I hope. Do you see how I did that dough? You see what I did? Even across the top. And what's that going to do? All your muffins are going to be the same size. That's the concept. Okay? We want all the muffins to be the same size. Because if they're the same size, then I can sell them at my store for the same price. Okay? Same price. I want to sell all of them for the same price. Okay, how many minutes does it say that this should bake? 20. So when you set your timer tomorrow, you need to set your timer for probably 3 minutes less than 20. Why? So you can check on them and make sure that they didn't get too done, okay? I don't check your muffins. You check your muffins. Sometimes we're making some things, there's some panicking going on, and I'll come and check, but I really expect you to get your own muffins checked. This recipe says it makes 12, but this particular one often comes up with only 10 or 11. When we get to the other variations that have more things in them, they all have more things in them. Bananas, oatmeal, raisin, carrots, coffee cake. You will always get 12.